They're going back at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Well, it's been 7 years since the world lost Michael Jackson. Despite being one of the globe's biggest stars, there are still many mysteries surrounding his controversial life.
Yeah, but now the King of Pop's secret lover has lifted the veil on their relationship in her new book, giving a rare look at life with MJ behind closed doors.
No one has put their stamp on the music world quite like Michael Jackson. Growing up in the industry, Michael's groundbreaking solo career kicked off in the late 70s. The King of Pop went on to sell more than 750 million records, with Thriller still one of the world's biggest-selling original albums ever. But away from the music, Michael wasn't a stranger to public controversy.
The most loving thing to do is to share your bed with someone.
In 2009, 3 weeks before his comeback tour, the world woke up to the shocking news the 50-year-old star had died. Thousands of fans flocked to the hospital to mourn. Even after his death, the private life of the music icon remains shrouded in mystery. But now, 7 years on, and a secret lover of the King of Pop is telling her story, publishing her intimate diary entries detailing their hidden romance, with the former receptionist painting Michael Jackson in a surprising light.
And Shana Mangatal joins us live now out of LA. Good morning, thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Let's make our way through this fascinating story. You first met Michael as a teenager at his after party. It was in a New York hotel, right? Take us through what happened.
Yes, it was literally a dream come true. I was probably the biggest Michael Jackson fan ever. I was 17 years old and it was 1988 and Michael was at the height of his fame. I had gone to New York to see him on his Bad tour. He performed a concert at Madison Square Garden. And by some stroke of luck, I ended up in his hotel room after the show at this after party that he was throwing. And it was like walking through a dream. Everywhere I turned, there were A-list celebrities. And Michael was there. And eventually Michael came over and introduced himself to me. He reached out his hand to shake my hand, and I shook his hand. And then when I tried to let go of his hand, he kept holding on to my hand. And then he slid his hand all the way down mine. And from that moment on, I knew that there was more to Michael than met the eye. I knew he liked the ladies.
Wow. Well, if you were 17, that must have been quite a moment. So then how did the relationship develop? You were a receptionist. Did you meet up again?
Yes, I landed the dream job. I started working at Michael's music management company in LA. I moved to LA when I was very young. I was about 20 years old, and I landed this dream job at this management company. And Michael was their biggest client. So he would call every single day, sometimes 5 or 6 times a day. And that's how our relationship developed, because we had to talk all day. And this was during a time when he was going through a lot of trials and tribulations. The 1993 scandal had hit during that time. So I was there talking to him through all of these terrible things that were happening. And I just started telling him, I love you and I miss you. And from that moment on, at the end of all of our conversations, we told each other that we loved each other. And that was pretty much the base of our relationship for years to come. That base that we had formed way back then is what kept it going for years.
Shana, did you think at all in those early days when you were like, we're talking 17 and 18, did you think that was all okay? Or, because there's plenty of people watching this now going, okay, that's a little strange, you were really young.
No, I mean, nothing started romantically at that early age. We were just friends at that time. I was pretty much in my mid-20s when anything like that started. So no, there was never anything odd or anything like that with Michael at all. I witnessed him with kids, and to me it's absurd that people are mischaracterizing his relationship with kids, because it was such a pure relationship he had with them, you know. So that makes me angry when I see people calling him names like Wacko Jacko. It's just not fair, because that's not who he was as a person.
So will your book give us a different view on Michael Jackson?
Oh yeah. This book really humanizes him. It takes you behind the curtain, and it sort of lifts the veil off of that image that everyone knows to be Michael Jackson. Once you finish reading this, I'm pretty sure you'll have a completely different view of him, a different perspective. You'll see him as the man that he was, the man that I knew, the man that I loved. And I think perhaps you'll love him even more after you've read it.
All right, Shana. Well, thank you for joining us this morning out of LA. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Shana's book, you just saw it there, Michael and Me, The Untold Story of Michael Jackson's Secret Romance, will be available in bookshops on Monday.
All right, coming up for you, we're going to get a sneak peek at